All right, welcome everybody. Hey Kimberly, hey Mark. What's going on, everybody? There are 0 people in Zoom right now, so I'm not going to pay attention to that much. And we got about 6 seconds, 5 seconds to the top of the hour. So there we are. This is Fort Loudon Dam in Knoxville, and well, just south of Knoxville, I guess you would say. Creates the Fort Loudon Lake Fort Loudon that kind of backs up the water through town to the head of the river where the French Broad and the Holston Rivers come together just in the north part of town and make the Tennessee River. This is the first dam on the Tennessee River, and yeah, just south of Knoxville. Pretty cool. Used to be able to drive across it. They took this bridge out recently and built another bridge off to I guess that way downriver. Use my pointer over here just off the screen toward the green here. So anyway, let's talk about it. Are we in a lull? We kind of have light economic news this week. We'll talk about that. The paths forward for the market. And then, of course, you pick the stocks. I'll give you my 2 cents on them. Of course, you get what you pay for, you know. Housekeeping things. If you are brand new here, let me know in the chat. I'd love to welcome brand new people, let you know about me. Make sure that you subscribe. There's like a button somewhere over there. And then make sure you click the bell with the little hash thingies on it to get notified when I go live. That makes sure that you get notifications. Well, you're not guaranteed still, but you're more likely to get the notifications when I go live, especially every morning at 9:15. I go live with market updates on what's moving for the day. So my 2 cents is priceless. Yeah. Sometimes it's worth what you pay. All right. Yeah. So those housekeeping items and something brand new. We got approved to get super chats. So I am going to prioritize any super chat. So if you have if you want to make sure I look at whatever you gotta say, throw a super chat out there, and I will give you priority for your review for whatever it is you want me to look at or think about or say or do or whatever trade you got. I will give that priority over all else. All right. So let's get started, shall we? Coming at it. So we got the S&P 500 just kind of farting around on the roadmap line, for better words here. I need to pull up. Shoot, I forgot to pull up the Discord. Let's see. I posted one in here just a minute ago. Let me grab it really quickly. Here we go. Right there. Open browser. Pull it up. Killing Zoom. And there it is. Zoom got in the way. So right here, let's pop this up, big screen. Should be able to see it. Yeah, we can see it. Right here. So I drew these arrows all the way back in January. They haven't moved. They've been sitting here. I got dang close. And if this is the bounce and we go higher from here, I got really freaking close. Yeah. We may still come down and test this 618 level at 39.24. And if you look at this chart right over here, this one right here, this purple line is a little bit lower at 3,900. Right at the bottom of the red box right now. We could come right down there. So this 3,800 level, I want to see that hold for sure. If we get below that, then this making a lower low than October becomes likely. So that's kind of the parameters you got to work with right now. Looking at the market. And if we pop back over and look at this one more time, if we zoom out, we can see that we're looking up pretty good if this thing goes bullish. Like these are big numbers here. And we can go all-time high, which is off the top of this thing. So is that going to play out? I don't know. That trajectory a little flatter than that arrow I have drawn there. So it may take us out to May, June. Come on. May, June time frame to get up there. Then sell in May, go away. We may see a pullback kind of lull into the summer. That's all classic market price action. So, all right. Any questions on that before I move on? Yeah, pretty freaking close. Yeah. All right. Super Chat is a YouTube feature. So if you're logged in, you can, I don't know what the button looks like. Kimberly might be able to see it. I don't have the YouTube interface since I'm streaming here. Having been on other people's, there's like a little smiley face thing you can click right next to the chat, and it gives you options. So just letting you know, it is a paid feature. So, all right. Moving on. We want to know about other things, right? Besides just S&P 500. All right. Oh, that was not the chart. That is not the chart I wanted to do that to. I want to do that over here. So looking at ES, just hanging out in this orange box. Where did the orange box come from? This, if you're unfamiliar, ES is the S&P 500 futures. This orange box came from the range that we made in early, or I guess mid-November, right around the 15th, 16th, 17th, right there. We tried to break out, couldn't do it, came back, tested the bottom of the box, tested the top of the box again, broke out of the bottom of the box into December, consolidated, hitting our head on top, couldn't break back in, couldn't break back in, couldn't break back in, then all of a sudden popped in, couldn't get out, right back to the bottom, couldn't get out, retraced 50%, then popped out, held the top, tried to push higher, ran out of steam at that high right there, right there from December, and we're back in the box. Really just kind of chugging sideways since mid-November all the way back over here. Just tried to break down, tried to break up, just kind of stuck in the middle, but I do have a bullish bias slant on this, if you couldn't tell. So, Nasdaq holding the roadmap line really well so far. Yesterday trying to push up, today trying to push back down, not really getting higher, not really going lower, just kind of waiting. And like I was talking about, we're just kind of waiting. Like there's a lull in economic news this week. Russell just consolidating right underneath this support resistance line that was the highs, and then it was support, and now we're underneath it, so it's resistance once again, and we're stuck between the support that is the roadmap line and the resistance that is this support resistance line that was the highs, and then support as the lows, and now it's resistance as the highs. Confusing, clear as mud, right? Anyway, as I was saying, economic news, there's not a lot of it this week. Today we had the CB consumer confidence. It caused a little bit of chop, but not really. I mean, we stayed in a 30-point range most of the day on the S&P 500. Tomorrow we have ISM manufacturing, PMI. May or may not. And PMI last week kind of caused a little bit of dropping, but I don't know if this one's going to be any meaningful difference than what we saw last week. So then we have on Thursday, not really much. Some unemployment claims, of course. We get that every week. A little natural gas storage. So not really a whole lot happening the rest of the week here. We do see more PMI right there on Friday. So coming up next week, though, things get, I don't know, more spicy a little bit, maybe not. There's still not a ton on here. We do get the non-farm payrolls next week. We get the JOLTS job openings, and then, again, not a ton of stuff. But then, more hourly out, non-farm change, unemployment rate, all that stuff on Friday. And then the week after that, though, is where we get the CPI print coming up right here on the 14th. So Tuesday the 14th, set your alarm for Monday afternoon. Be careful, know where your position's at, because we've got that CPI coming up. And then, more core PPI, core retail sales, all that. So not next week, but the week after is going to be a bunch of market moving stuff. And then we get the FOMC meeting coming up toward the end of the month too. So watch out. There's some market movement stuff coming down the road. But right now, we're just kind of in this lull. And we do have Mara reporting earnings this evening. And we have Monster. I should be sponsored by Monster, right? Monster reporting earnings this evening too, so we can look at that. Kimberly says to use the super chat, click on the $ box, then select super chat or super stickers, and it is a paid feature. So if you pay for a super chat, I will prioritize your stuff. Just so that's there. All right. Yeah. Click it, don't lick it. Yeah. As Kimberly says in the chat. So, all right. There is a chat on YouTube if you're not familiar, so you can go participate there. All right. One thing we've been watching in the morning, the dollar. We came up and we found resistance at the roadmap line. We kind of rejected it yesterday. Today, just kind of testing back into it. And if we can drop out of here, then gold's probably going to rally, and the market will probably rally also. So keep an eye on that one. Let's flip out of the morning list and back into the normal list here. Let's see. I usually talk about gold and oil. There's oil. Look at this. That's a downtrend. Downtrend, baby. Although that's kind of a wedge right there because it made a higher low. So we've got like this watermelon seed squeeze play type situation going on. Is it going to pop? Is it going to drop? The resistance is up here at the roadmap line around 84. The support is down here around 64. So that gives us a 20-point range, and we're kind of right in the middle here. So we can pop out or we can pop down, and we'll see which one it is. So watch for those kind of trend lines to break there. All right. I'm biased for this target because that's been the target for months and months, but we can pop up and test the roadmap line one more time. If we break out, then we break out. But right now it's looking down. Gasoline, holy cow, what the heck happened there? Popping up at the roadmap line. If we get above this high over here, gasoline's going to go higher. Looks like that was a contract roll. I'm willing to bet. Yeah, that's going to be the contract roll right there. So we rolled contracts and popped. Natural gas turning the bottom. Sure looks like it. That looks like a pretty good opportunity to start climbing, but we need a pullback and a run higher, just like I mentioned on gold for weeks and weeks. It seemed like we needed some sort of pullback. We got the pullback. We went right back to the roadmap line. We've held. This is an opportunity to go long GLD. I would go out several months if I was going to do that. And this is going to be my pick of the week. You may see that on an email for tomorrow, possibly. Looking like 185, 190 are the targets on GLD. I would probably go out to June or July at least, if not later in the year. So this thing can go a little sideways before it gets some momentum going higher. Also, we have copper. Not quite hitting the roadmap line, but a good way to play that would be like FCX. Freeport McMoran. My target's right up here around 45 right now, and we may see some resistance and a bigger pullback. So watch that one on FCX right there. I was looking for it to hit the roadmap line. It came up just a little shy, but it can bounce here and pop right up here. All right. Lumber, turning the bottom. Got to be careful. Housing futures, got to put it on the weekly chart. Yeah, resistance right at 50% and pullback. It may go back and retest the roadmap line right here. So that is CME housing futures. If you didn't know housing futures existed, right there it is. If we see lower prices in housing, well, that's good for more houses moving, right? All right, one more thing. Let's talk about Bitcoin, because I know there are some crypto followers in here. We are finding a little resistance coming up into this roadmap line area on the weekly chart. We broke down. We need to get through this area. Things are looking positive. There's some, catalysts in the works here in Bitcoin and Litecoin and other coins. Bitcoin has a halving coming up. Litecoin has a halving coming up faster. LTC USD. You can see it's a little more advanced right there at the roadmap line. This one breaks above 105. It can get the next extension. And I wouldn't put it out of the realm of possibility to see it return back up to this high right here. We do have resistance right there around 130, but it can return right up to this 300 area once it gets above that 105, 104, 105 level right there on Litecoin. All right, so enough of me blabbing. Let's go hit some of your requests, put it back on a daily chart. And LAC looks like got to the end of the wedge and it's kind of stuck right here. That's on the downside. I give it a bearish bias, but it can break out of this funk. I mean, funk, junk, crunk, I don't know. Yeah, that's kind of a bearish, nasty looking chart. I'm not sure what this was, because right back up in there and sideways. I mean, if I had to pick a direction, sideways was what I would pick. You know, you could sell an iron condor on that baby. All right, next up, Mora. Things are looking good. This is like a double. So this pull up, retrace, that was a measured bounce setup. Pull up, retrace once again. That's a double measured bounce setup. It's like also known as a 1-2-1-2 in Elliott wave speak, 1-2-1-2, which is a very bullish pattern to go higher. And the target I've got right now is right in here. And if Bitcoin and everything else crypto-wise starts getting more money flowing into it, we could see a big up in Mora. And it looks like potentially they maybe delayed their earnings based on the quote there from somebody. I mean, their earnings never really, they put out, they basically put out a mining summary every month on their investor page anyway. So their earnings are never really a surprise, except that they spend a little more of their money keeping operations going. They only have like a few dozen employees, so it's not like a giant, what do you call it, employee intensive company. Their resources are miners and energy and, you know, the Bitcoins. So HUT looking pretty bad though. Does not have the 1-2-1-2 setup. That looks like it's going to go on down to about that $1.40 area. That one is, I mean, they're trying to combine with U.S. what is it, U.S. mining or something like that, and they're going to do a reverse split and all this stupid stuff that is not very bullish for their price. Riot's chart does look better. It's not the best, but it does look better than HUT's. And we came up a little shy of getting the measure bounce set up right there, and then this littler pullback did do a measure bounce. So this one is very similar to Mora, not exactly the same. And then WIN, WYNN. I just thought I'd hit all the miners while we're at it. That's targets, baby. I mean, looking for a bigger pullback. Maybe that was gonna be it right there. Needs a bigger pullback, and you know, that little arrow came from right here. This pullback, it's probably going to do another one that about that size at some point, right up through here, and then it'll do another extension. I mean, that's the way these things roll, and eventually it'll come down and test the roadmap line on the daily. Looks pretty positive for WIN. MRK just going, like, found resistance at the 618, pulled back. This is an active echo trade we have open right now. Hanging out above this is still bullish to go higher. Breaking down here probably means we're going to test if we get below this point, you can see my alert price right there, 105.86. We start getting below that, probably going to come down and test the roadmap line at 102 before we can go higher. And that would basically be double bottom. All right. And NVDA, right there. Yeah, just at the resistance. We get above that 240 area. The next target's right up here around 335. Probably consolidate for a little while, and then make the final push up to the 460. Nothing's changed on NVIDIA, really. It pulled back, making the next run, you know, on the zoomed up view here. We did a little pullback right there, and 248, 265 on the next extension, then another pullback, and then another extension, and these things just keep pullback, extension, pullback, trend, pullback, continuation, trend, pullback, continuation. That's the roadmap trade. That's the echo trade. That's how I trade. So looking for these pullbacks that are repeatable. At some point, I'll probably get one that matches this one right here, up here somewhere. It's gonna be like I freak everybody out, and then it'll go on another massive run higher. So that'll happen. All right, XLE has been looking pretty poor and still looks pretty poor. I have a downside target here in this area right around 79. This came down, came up, bounced and stopped right at the top of the resistance zone here. Turning down, that's a 1, 2, 3, probably a 4, 5. Right down into here would be what I would expect. Now breaking above, holding the roadmap line here, breaking above this price right around 86. Then you have resistance right above you here because you've got this level at 90 and you've got this level at 93. But getting above all that junk, it's going to be a struggle. That can put it out to 98 and 102. I would be careful because that looks like the bigger pattern is to reach down right here. It can find support at 80, 96-ish, 81-ish, or could come all the way down to 78 here. All right. Next up, GOOG. Yeah, this is in a bad spot. This is like gotta hold this zone right here. If it breaks down at all, it can very easily reach down to this 79 area. I am highly cautious right now on that move. And the whole reason I have an arrow there is because I've already talked to somebody else about this in the last couple of days. So very cautious. And you can see it tried to go up today and got rejected right back down. That is dangerous, super dangerous right there. Now we got to get back above 92, preferably above 92.50 for this thing to kind of change its tune right here. Got to get out of this funk. Staying in this zone increases the likelihood that we see it drop out. Caution, caution, caution. That's dangerous. All right. Let's see. FCEL. Yeah, still trucking on the path. Path was kind of biased down, but sideways to down. Sideways with a downward bias, because that's lower high. Drifting out. I'm not one for catching knives. You catch the knife drop, you get bloody hand. Got to be careful on that one. Potential for this to be a measured bounce, but it's got to get back above the roadmap line. I'm not just going to call it right here. That's dangerous. Dangerous. I'd need to move back up through about 375. The extension on this one, run. Whoa, what was that? Let me clear that. Try again. Start over. Yeah, so it can make a nice move from $3.75 to $5.50, $6.45, even $7.80 if it's going to be bullish. But that's dangerous. All right, ANC USD. Yeah, let's see if I can get any good pricing. That looks horrible. That's going in the toilet. Why would you mess with that crypto? Holy, that's a bad chart. I mean, look, this crypto looks a lot better. This is on the right side. This is, doing a pullback before the next extension. That's positive. ANC looked horrible. All right. If you want to play with low price stuff, look at this one, Anchor. I mean, still looks better than ANC. And this one above 6 can get to 10, above 11 can get to 20. it doesn't mean it's not going to come back to the roadmap line. So be careful on that low-priced garbage crypto. All right, can't stress that enough. So they pushed it out to 314. That's cool. I mean, no big deal. URY. Come on now, you. Keyboard's gonna be stupid. That was cool. I don't know what that was. All right, let's turn that off. Anybody know what I'm gonna say about this one? Kind of just squeezing out. It looks kind of bearish. Yeah, boring, bearish, and no real prospects for higher or lower. On the way up, yeah, on the way up to $2, and I mean, you can make a whopping, what, 30 cents, 40 cents, potentially, before you hit the head, and then probably come back down. Be careful. Be careful on that one. I mean, there's better places to put your money. So. All right, skipped a few. Let's see, BLDR. That's that was on, I threw that one in the chat earlier in Discord. You see that one coming up into resistance right there. Likely to get another pullback at some point as it tops out. But it can get another extension here. Yeah, reaching new highs, 87.90. Even up to 96 on that next extension. Looking pretty strong. I mean, they're making money. They've got resistance right where they are. And this guy right here. And it could just break out and run higher off of that bigger pattern and get, yeah, that 96 area like I was just talking about. That kind of hits confluence right there with that fib line. So I'd watch for a move out to 96. 108 if it gets really excited. That'd be the 4236. Likely to do some pullbacks before it gets to there. So, all right, boot. That's been a favorite of Beth in the chat. Here's what I drew. Let's see how close I got. Came up just a little shy and getting down here. The next run could potentially put it up to 100. And then we get a bigger retrace. That's kind of the path. This is a very, very classic Elliott wave pattern right here. If it can break out. I'm not really interested until it gets above 80 for me. And for whatever reason, my alert is gone from 80 right there. I'd be looking for 100 and then a pullback. That's boot. And then the R mark. Yeah. R mark. That looks pretty bearish. It didn't do that so far. Going on down. It's got support right there. Yeah, look at that. Sideways for like a year. Yeah. All right. And CDW. That one was bullish. It's still bullish. Just on a little pullback. Let's see. Check this right here. Oh yeah. If that holds right there, if it doesn't break, if it stays above 200, the next extension can look about like, I mean, it's just real easy right there. 225, 226, 227, somewhere in there. Doesn't even have to have fibs. That's just using the, so what this is, you know, I used fib tools, but you can just use arrows. Like, look, right here. Arrow like that. That is the same size pullback. That move up, it's just the same size move up. Just Use the drawing tools. You don't even have to use fib tools like I do. So right there. There's some resistance along the way, but, you know, these things tend to echo and repeat. Looks like the same size pullback here, same size pullback back here. Yeah, look at that one. Same size. See it right there, top to bottom? Pretty darn close. Oh, I grabbed the... Pretty close. I bet that move. Up, see? Pretty close. These stocks tend to echo like that. Same size move, same size pullback, same size run up, same size pullback, same size run up. So that's the whole thing behind what I do. Looking for these patterns. All right, INSW. That's I think I threw that one out this morning. That was on the morning monster. Yeah, 56 probably. And that one, I mean, that was a monster run, the last move right there. Can take it right up. See, 3618, right at 86. Can be the next move. Could take it out to May timeframe, May, June. That's a beautiful looking chart, actually. I mean, look at that. That is a bullish chart in the face of a lot of crap in the market. Then SI looks pretty bad. It's a short squeeze potential. That's major players playing right there. I put a little bit of risk money on it, and it's battle of the billionaire hedge funds right there. So I'm just trying to get a little piece on a pop. It should pop up here at some point. What point that is, I don't know. I'm just gonna bide my time and wait here. And then, let's see. You can adjust the amount on Super Chats, by the way. You don't have to just play the one price. All right. Mara, you, Roy. Yeah. Run. Are you in? Yeah, Super Chat. You can Super Chat for $1. If you're unfamiliar. I'm just giving you more options. If you want to have priority, the Super Chat is there. Some people want to be special. Looks kind of boring. It's been in this sideways crap for a year. Try to break out, try to break down. Sideways. With a slight downward bias, but hadn't made a lower low since May of last year, so it's just stuck and boring. CHPT, kind of the same situation, stuck and boring. There's some people bullish on this, but I wouldn't be chasing it until it broke out above here. Cause look, I mean, they're losing money, losing money, losing money, losing money, losing money. They lose lots of money. Expected to lose more money, and right now is not the environment that you want to be losing money that costs more money to borrow if you need more money. So yeah, ANC is not the same as Anchor. Yeah, I know, ANC. I did ANC USD. I mean, that's a bad chart. So all right. Yeah, ANK, that's the one I like. ANKR USD. That's the one that looks positive right there. It's on a pullback. It can pull back to the roadmap line. So, all right. Yeah, you can see I'm a little bit behind in the chat. I'm catching up quick, though. INSW, I kind of gave you the target there. INSW, 86. I mean, it's not going to be without pullbacks. I mean, it gets little pullbacks. You can see them all the way down, like even this move down here. Little pullbacks, little pullbacks, little pullbacks, little pullbacks on these big runs. Where it runs out of steam, well, let's see if we can make a wild guess here. Yeah, I think that 90 area is completely doable. Now, what do they do? Marine shipping. So if so there's mergers and acquisitions coming in the international marine shipping sector, I guess you would say. There's a couple of them going out of business. They can't make it work. International Seaways is one of those that stands to profit in the face of that merger and acquisition stuff. So you're throwing up big numbers here. Nice earnings. And even when they disappointed, they still made gobs of money. Lost a little money back here. They learned their lesson and they turned it around and they're making money. So dollar menu at McDonald's, yeah. Let's look at MCD. Looks like it's stuck on the roadmap line. I'll hit a couple. Apple. Everybody likes Apple. Stuck on the roadmap line. That's the roadmap pattern though. Break above, come back, hold, pushes up to 151, make the next extension. Breaks down below this area right here, 134. So, ENPH. Looks like it's going to reach down here to 148. All these alternate energy stocks, they were hyped up, and then they started dying. It says semiconductor. Really, in phase makes inverters for solar panels, and that's alternate energy. So maybe it'll be primary energy one day, but right now it's not the day yet. So these things are getting expensive because in order to install solar panels and inverters, most people have to borrow money. Borrowing money is expensive right now. So that makes it tougher to install solar panels no matter what the government subsidy for doing it is. So, alrighty. Tesla is stuck on the roadmap line also. So Tesla is a story of two paths right now. I've had this on the chart for a few days. It's got this support resistance line that comes from way back over here where these lows were. It's not the straightest line. It looks like it has a little tilt to it. So that line comes from these lows right over here back in 2021. You can see right here, it did a little thing on the way down. On the way up, it just blasted through there and didn't stop when it was coming back up. Retraced, held above it, and there is still the very real possibility that we come down and test this. Today, apparently, I didn't keep up with the investor day for Tesla, but apparently they didn't. I guess that's tomorrow. Tomorrow's the investor day, Wednesday. So tomorrow there's investor day, and they're supposed to announce some ridiculous something, whether it be a $25,000 car or the production date for the Cybertruck, or I don't know. The hype is that they're announcing some crazy something. This can either pop it, or if that hyped up thing is not as hyped up as the market hopes it is, then we could see it drop out. And if we don't hold this 180, we could retrace back into this zone right down here around 150. Be prepared for all outcomes. Elon Musk did become the richest man in the world again on Monday, beating out the guy from Louis Vuitton. So I think he's got an ace up his sleeve to maintain that richest man in the world. But the market doesn't always like the news that Tesla puts out. So be careful on that one. All right. Yeah, I get like 70 or maybe 70% of super chats, I think. We turned it on. We worked it out with YouTube and turned it on. So, pizza, PZZA. Is that Papa John's? I know DPZ was getting murderized. Yeah, Papa John's, PZZA. That's like sideways all day. They haven't gone anywhere. Look at that. Dominoes getting murderized. Probably on the way to 273. And Yum. That's Pizza Hut and KFC, right? Looks like they're going to come down to the roadmap line. Out of the three, that looks more bullish than the others, but that's still a lot of sideways. So, yeah, eat more pizza. Let's see. What else y'all want to look at? Amazon, that's usually one everybody wants to look at. And if I could type the ticker right. We're stuck in this box. And we need to hold the bottom of the box. If we don't hold the bottom of the box, we can easily return to the lows. So I'm kind of bullish on this one, but that's not looking the best right now. If the market can get out of this funk, maybe it will look nice, but right now, I'm not doing that. All right. Oh, that's a UM. There we go. That doesn't pull up anything. And you typed it twice. UM. Sorry, MB. Check your ticker. Anybody else got one? Anybody? Going once, going twice. UNM. There we go. Yeah, still on the path there. Breaking above. I mean, if you're not in, pushing up through 45 can take it up to 48. Above 48.50 can take it up to 51. It can reverse back down and test that high at any point up there. At some point, either here, it'll retrace, or up here, it'll retrace. Or up there, it'll retrace. One of those. All right, Ford GM, yeah. Ford, look at that, on the path. Probably go back to this 1135 because it broke back into the triangle. This looks the opposite of, what was the one I was looking at earlier? LAC, wasn't it? Yeah. LAC, yeah. Ford. This one popped up and came back, and LAC went down and came back. Kind of funny, right? Ford, a little bit of trouble making batteries. So, it's tough news. Panasonic had a big article in the Wall Street Journal today. And GM holding the roadmap line, that can be bullish, but it's got to break back above that resistance right there, which it was resistance here. We tried to break above, came right back down. Now it's going to still be resistance. Not much I could say. Yeah, it hit the 272, so that was a nice pop off of that pullback right there. Now, you just using the arrows, pull back. Almost the same size, a little bit bigger. Pop here. Don't even have to use the fib tools. Look at this. Potential is to run up to 47. All right. What else? Anybody? Net. All right. Yeah, that's potentially bullish here. Let's see. Maybe run a couple numbers. Right there. Three-wave retrace. And really close. Really close. Turn that fib on. Oh yeah, this is okay. I don't do this very often, but we're going to draw something a little different. This right here holds the proportions for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I gotta use this tool to get the 5th. If that holds right there, the 5th wave. Oh, I got it really close. Look, right there. 91. Come on. Move around there. There we go. That was a really fast 4, so it may fart around here for a little bit before he goes, but I drew that off the wrong one. So the first move, these tools are in the way here. I'm used to the bigger screen where I don't have to. So this first move and the last move tend to be the same size. First move up, and this was a 3-wave retrace into the low. That one took a while, so this one could be fast, and then this one be something in between. Like the 1 and 5, time-wise, there's no bearing on that, but 91 would be where I would expect right now. And then it'll probably get a bigger retrace. Right back down here. Right back to the roadmap line. I go right back down here. And then go up even more. All right. Proportionally, that one's a lot like boot right there. Just a little sloppier. Anything else before I wrap this up? 5:46. All right. Thanks for coming, everybody. Remember, 9:15 in the morning, going live again for the Morning Monster. We'll talk about Monster's earnings. MMMT. And it looks like they disappointed a little bit. Dropping to the roadmap line. We'll see how that carries through. It's funny how that happens. And remember, if you're not subscribed, make sure you hit the subscribe button over in the corner, and then click the bell with the little quote thingers. You know, switch it to all alerts, and you'll hopefully get alerts when I go live. If you get it turned on, YouTube tells me sometimes they don't send alerts. I don't know why. I think if you want alerts, you want alerts. You know, why not send them? But you know, whatever. So make sure you like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you again in the morning. Thanks for coming, everybody. Love doing